names.
That's the name. Yeah, I was thinking that. Okay. So I think we have started to stream live on Facebook. So we should start. Let us go, Tamina.
Yes, you can start.
Okay. Coming out live from our Techno Show headquarters, this is your host, Samreen. Hello, everyone. Today we have with us one of our judges, Mr. Paul Heine. He's a SharePoint consultant working in CalSoft. He's a seasoned Microsoft technologist having experience in SharePoint, resource planning, training, and innovative system design. With cross-functional communication and technical analysis skills, Paul believes in efficient use of technology to create positive impact in businesses. So, hi Paul, how are you?
Samreen, I'm great. How are you?
Fine, thank you. It is very nice to have you here.
Well, it's great to be here. Great to be here.
So, can you please share with us a little bit of your background?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I've worked in the IT industry for more than 10 years now, supporting programs and applications. And I've studied coding in school, like a lot of the people on this call probably. And I've edited code for websites. I'm currently working for a software consulting firm in Mississauga called CalSoft. And Mississauga is in the province of Ontario, and Ontario is in Canada. So all the way from Canada today.
Great.
But I am so excited to be part of the Techno Show today, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the teams have come up with in this international competition. So thanks very much.
Thanks to you also for taking up time. We are really excited for our show, and let's see how it goes. So,
Yeah.
Paul, let's start. I would like to know how you think that COVID-19 has affected the world and to what extent technology has helped in this pandemic.
Well, I'm not sure about everybody else, but man, I have been on my computer every day looking for a vaccine for COVID-19. That's it's certainly glued everyone to their computer screens, hasn't it? It's certainly the news of the day. It's what everybody's looking to know more about the COVID-19 virus and what they can do. And I'm sure most of the people who know how to cope with COVID-19, sort of like, how to use personal protective equipment and so on, have learned it from their computer. So obviously, the technology has played a huge role in COVID-19. And here in Canada, actually today, we actually got for the first time an alert on our phones because of COVID-19. We actually got this alarm that came up and say that we are in lockdown. Don't leave your house unless you really have to, kind of thing. So that's another alerting system that's active because of COVID-19. It's technology has certainly changed the landscape for COVID-19.
I think the only thing that has improved in COVID-19 is technology.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there for sure. Yeah.
Because I don't think nobody knew about Zoom before that, but like now everybody talks about Zoom all the time. So
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Zoom was just another application before. Now it's like your go-to application. Yeah.
so what is the value of coding in the 21st century?
Well, I think it's incredibly valuable. The work of coders is everywhere. Coding is everywhere. Personally, I can't get through a day without using code. Just turning on a phone, turning on your tablet or your computer, you're using code all the time. You're using code just to start up your system, basically. So we all need your skills. We all need the world needs coding skills. Everything we do uses code. So, and I think that as time goes on, the value of coding in the world just only increases. So it's a really great skill to have.
Great. Yeah. And how can kids benefit through learning extra skills like coding in early ages?
Well, I think it is really important. I mean, kids really need to know how to do things like that. It's kind of a discipline. It sort of sets you up for the rest of your life in a certain ways because it's not easy and you really have to work hard at it. And I think you don't really see the benefits right away, and a lot of people don't really see what you've done through your final results. To other people, you created a picture that moved across the screen, but to you, that's a few lines of code. So it's a lot of information. It's difficult for people to get into that. And I think it's really admirable for people to actually sit down and set themselves a goal to learn how to code, because I think it's a very difficult skill to have, but I think it's also very valuable.
Yeah, indeed. So, what are your ideas about good coding techniques for kids? Which one they should take on?
Good coding techniques. Well, I think it's coding really is part of being part of a team, and I think it's sort of when you're first starting out coding, you think, oh, it's just me, right? It's just I'm just writing a few lines of code, and I come up with a solution after I've executed my code. But really, it's just being part of a team, and I think that this contest kind of illustrates that you really have to be part of a team and be good with a team to be successful in coding, because it's your you the code itself is just too huge. When you think of something like Roblox or Minecraft, it's a huge program. It's not just one person producing that. It's a team of people working together to get that done. And that's one of the key things to learn about coding is how to work on a team. And I'm glad that this contest kind of illustrates that by putting the contestants into a team.
Yes, definitely. Right. So the idea behind Techno Show is to promote the importance of coding in young generation. So what would you like to say about our virtual event being held on 16th of January?
Well, like I said, I think it's a great opportunity for kids to get together, and it's really interesting to be able to see teams from all over the world. Think of what you can learn from watching other people. So I think it's a great opportunity to not just your own school. Like when I went to school, it was just sort of the people in my classroom, right? But now the world is a classroom, and it's such a great opportunity to see what other people right across the world are doing when they're confronted with the same problems that you're faced with. So it's going to be really interesting.
Interesting, definitely. So in this competition, what type of questions the kids should expect?
Well, I think it's kind of it's a lot of different things, I guess. I think one of the things we're going to be focusing on is sort of your basically your knowledge of the project and of the application, right? Can you show us that you know what's going on when you run that program? You haven't just submitted a bunch of lines of code. You can sort of explain what's going on when that code runs, and that's kind of an important part of the judging. Um, we want you to be able to explain the decisions you make or the results that happened. Say for example, you're programming a game. You should be able to tell us, why did you choose one player, or why did you choose to have it a two-player game? Like what sort of led to those decisions? What made you add another level, or why did you have more than one level in your game? That sort of thing. It's just sort of to explain what the decisions you made when you're creating that program. Another thing is, what did you think of the project and the time you spent on it? Did you have fun? Important. You got to have fun, right? Did you have fun? Was it worth the time? Did you enjoy working with the team? That sort of thing. That's kind of important as well. And what skills did you learn? What did you learn? And not just I learned how to program basically, but also maybe it's could also be learned how to work with a team kind of thing. It's just sort of what you learned in general from the whole exercise. And do you have any? Did it inspire you to have any plans for continued study to see if would you continue to improve on the same game, or would you, if you had more time, or would you like to do other things with coding? So it's just sort of an idea of how this project has affected your learning.
Okay.
So I know we realize that that's a lot to put down, and because you only have 30 to, or sorry, you only have 60 to 90 seconds to present your program. So we realize that's not very much time. So feel free to write something down, present that along with your presentation, just so if you don't have time to express it, at least you have it written down, and we can look at it that way. So that's also a good idea.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, that's about it.
Okay. And how do you think can students best gain out of this competition experience?
Well, I think if I was doing this, if I was a competitor, I know I'd be very nervous, right? I'd be very nervous about, I have to present this thing and I've only got 60, 90 seconds, and I'd be focused on my own program, on my own team, and making sure that everything was perfect. But I, but I really think you'll get the most out of the experience if you watch and listen to what the other teams are doing. So even though you're kind of focused on your own presentation, keep in mind it's a really good idea to kind of listen to what other people are doing to get an idea what their programs are all about, because these are people just like you, right? And they've worked very hard, just like you have, on something that they enjoy, and yet they may have taken an entirely different approach to the same contest. So that's and I think you'll find that very interesting, because that's in coding. There's often more than one solution to a problem, right? And so it helps to get different perspectives on ways to do things. And so make sure you listen and you learn from these internationally diverse teams. We've got around 25 of these teams. And you're going to see during the contest, and you'll get a lot more out of it. So yeah, try to take in what the other teams are doing, as well as your own.
Yes, definitely.
Thanks.
Thanks. So, do you have anything to say to the children other than all the valuable things that you've just shared with us?
Sure. Yeah. Hang on. We just got a drink of water here. Yeah, I want to just mention that, I can remember when I first got started in coding, and you get started in coding and you learn a few things, and you like coding because you see all these other games that other people have made. You go to see Mario, you see Mario Kart, or you see Minecraft or Roblox or something like that, and you go, wow, I want to be able to do that too, right? So when I first started got started in coding, and you learn just enough to understand that how difficult how difficult it is to create a game like Minecraft or Super Mario. And I remember wondering, how am I ever going to get to that level? To be able to create a game that people like. And I mean, at the time, I knew enough that I could make a picture move across the screen. That's sort of the very basic thing I could do. But I mean, how will I ever get to the point where I could create a game that everyone would want to play it, and where everyone would want to send me money? How to get that to be successful in making software, making programs. And so for me, that was the hardest part of coding. So it wasn't so much the learning of the different coding languages or compiling or that sort of stuff. It was having a goal, really, yeah, a goal that I knew I wasn't going to be able to achieve right away.
Mm.
It's I knew that it was going to be a long time before I was going to get to that level where I could create the next Minecraft, right? So all I can say is that I'm glad I kept trying. You got to keep trying. Even if you compile your code and you get all you get is a blue screen, you have to keep trying, right? And the people in this contest have made mistakes just like you've made mistakes, and they kept trying, and they didn't give up. So, but it's contests like this, that lets you show that you're not alone in what you want to do, right? There are people who can help support you to get to where you want to be. Your team, your teachers, the friends you make. These are the people you need, right, to encourage you, to support you, and to keep you trying. Because I think that's the greatest secret of coding, is to keep trying. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think this is almost it. So,
Mhm.
it was really nice having you. You
Oh,
shared your insight with us. It was a
yeah, it
pleasure. Thank you so much, Paul.
was great. It was great. And looking forward to, in a few more days, I get to do the real thing and do some real judging. I
Yes,
appreciate that.
we are waiting. We are excited. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
to have you there, and I hope you enjoy it.
Mhm.
And we'll get to learn more from you as well.
Terrific.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye.